Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rick and Marty Lagina. 10 fun facts about the brothers from the Curse of Oak Island. Rick and Marty Lagina, the brothers at the center of history's hit show The Curse of Oak Island, are two of the most intriguing characters on TV today. Originally from Kingsford, Michigan, their purchase along with their business partners of much of Oak Island, which lies off Canada's Nova Scotia coast, put them right at the center of the world's longest-running treasure hunt. While retired U.S. postal worker Rick has always truly believed there is something buried beneath the surface on the island, Marty has been more skeptical. However, his own infatuation with the mysterious island's secrets continues to grow from season to season. It is widely known how the brothers' adventure began without them realizing it many years ago when Rick, aged just 11 at the time, picked up a copy of the January 1965 edition of Reader's Digest magazine and read an article about Oak Island's so-called money pit. Today, Rick views the pair as stewards of a great mystery, as the Laginas continue their bid in Season 5 of The Curse of Oak Island to try to get to the bottom of not only the pit, but also what other secrets the island has to unfold. Here's 10 interesting facts about the Lagina brothers and their treasure hunting exploits. Marty knows how to dig a hole. If you want someone to dig a hole, there's not many people who know how better to do it than Marty. Back in the 70s, he studied an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering, graduating from Michigan Tech in 1977. He later went on to study law at the University of Michigan, gaining his Juris Doctorate in 1982. However, while studying law, he began his own oil and gas company, Terra Energy, which after he graduated went from strength to strength and turned into his main focus. It specialized in extracting natural gas in Michigan, a very tricky task, and became the biggest shale gas well operator in the state. In 1995, he sold the company to CMS for a reported $58 million. He went on to become a majority shareholder in Chartwell Properties LLC and then moved into renewable energy, founding Heritage Sustainable Energy, which specializes in wind turbines. He also owns the Villamari Vineyard near Traverse City, Michigan, where he lives. Marty started that due to his love of wine, which he attributes to his Italian roots. It specializes in reds and is named after his grandmother, an Italian immigrant. Marty's son Alex, who works as a general manager at the vineyard, recalled in an interview with Michigan Today how she would always have a barrel of wine in the basement. He added, "Dad likes to say wine is in his blood." Rick has been going on about Oak Island for years. Rick and Marty have always loved adventure, after growing up reading the Hardy Boys books and seeking adventure as kids wherever they could, like the story's fictional brothers Frank and Joe. So it was no surprise that the 1965 Reader's Digest article read by Rick stuck with him. An article about the brothers in 2016 said, after reading it, Marty remembers they'd play out various versions of their own Oak Island mysteries, stomping around the woods near Iron Mountain, spending the better part of 3 summers digging for Indian treasure under one particularly immovable Upper Peninsula boulder. And it seems Rick has taken every opportunity over the years to bring up the island in conversation whenever he could. Marty's son Alex told how Rick would always talk about the island while the Laginas were on family holidays. He said, "I've been hearing about Oak Island since I was a kid." The brothers get a lot out of the show, even without treasure. Anyone who watches the show will know well the close bond shared by the brothers, a bond which extends to the rest of the team, including relatives, Alex and the pair's nephew Peter Fornetti, and close friends, including Marty's business partner Craig Tester and his son Jack Begley. Craig's other son Drake Tester, who tragically passed away earlier this year, was also part of the Oak Island family. Taking part in the treasure hunt means the group spend many weeks, often months, together each summer. That coming together and the relationships it builds means they get something precious out of the show even in the absence of glittering treasures. Rick told an AMA Ask Me Anything question and answer session that he and Marty did on Reddit last year. I love the fact that my nieces and nephews at a greater or lesser degree are a part of the show. I like having them there. Marty's son Alex said in his interview with Michigan Today, "It's an opportunity to spend time with my uncle and dad doing this crazy adventure, and that's a great thing." Rick has also spoken about how much he gets out of knowing that other people, the fans, are finding the show educational and inspirational. He told My North, "One of the most gratifying aspects of being a part of this show is when parents come up and say to one of us, 'We watch this as a family. It has incited interest in our children to do more reading, to realize that science is applicable to what their dreams are. Science, engineering, mathematics, just reading, where their dreams might leave them.' It took a lot to persuade them to do it." Rick and Marty bought their part of Oak Island long before there was any talk of turning the treasure hunt into a show. The brothers were persuaded to do it only when producer Kevin Burns from Prometheus Entertainment heard about what they were doing and traveled to the island to try and convince them to turn it into a series. Marty said in an interview, "Kevin really had to talk us into it. What carried the day is that Rick is a true believer in this legend. In his heart, he believes something of historical importance really happened in this place, and he wanted to get the story out. They really wanted it to be genuine." Rick and Marty were both adamant that if their quest was going to be turned into a TV show, then it must be genuine, and depict what actually happens rather than anything staged. Marty told Michigan Today that there is no script and the team aren't asked to embellish things. He said, "We said we're not going to do fake fights and scream at each other." Rick, asked previously if Marty was putting on an element of fear in a scene which saw Rick lowered down into the borehole known as 10X, said, "Oh no, we're not actors. We aren't capable of acting even if we wanted to." They bought Oak Island after seeing an ad in a magazine. Rick and Marty had always been interested in Oak Island ever since the Reader's Digest article back in 1965. But they actually first seriously started thinking about getting involved in the 1990s after hearing that Dan Blankenship was looking for investors to help him continue his treasure hunt. The pair traveled all the way to Oak Island from Michigan on a whim to meet him, but only managed to have a brief conversation with Dan before he had to leave on other business. This meant nothing came of it at the time, but Rick has previously told how he always had a gut feeling that he would one day return. That day came when the pair saw an advert that Oak Island was for sale in a copy of Islands magazine. They initially thought the whole island was up for grabs, but after making an inquiry found out it was just Lot 25.